Okay, got
Well,
it.
welcome to FBB Forum. If you like this content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow the FBB Forum Instagram and YouTube pages. I'm very excited to welcome the stunning IFBB Pro women's physique competitor Jess Uribe to the podcast. You might know her by her maiden name, Jessica Belt. She's competed in bodybuilding since, is it 2017 that you competed since?
Yes. And then I turned pro in 2019 at North Americans.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, cool. I want to make sure. And then you made your pro debut at the Arizona Pro in 2020,
2021, I think.
2021.
2020 or 2021. One of the two. I know it was during COVID, and that was when I got bit by a dog, and I was on stage in stitches.
Oh, oh, that's not a good way to do a pro debut.
I still have like my entire. I'm missing part of my calf down
Really?
there.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow. That's terrible. That's not good.
Everybody sees the scars and stuff because the way that they heal, they can't like close it up and stuff. So the stitches were like wide base so that it could, because
Uh-huh.
if they close stitch it, then it can get super infected. So they
Oh,
just did the stitches to basically keep it from spreading further open. And everybody's
wow.
like, "Did you get burned on a motorcycle exhaust?" And I was like, "It's a fucking dog bite." You know?
Oh, no, that's
So
not good.
yeah, that was my pro debut. So we don't count that one.
And you just came back to the pro or to the Arizona Pro this past weekend and you placed eighth in a
I
very
did.
stacked lineup. You did really nicely there, I thought.
That lineup, I mean, not a single girl came in off. Like everybody was on. Everybody looked amazing.
Yeah.
Um, and I am super proud of that place in given everything that I went through this year and having to compete about 4 weeks earlier than we were supposed to. But it's
And you
an
had a,
amazing show. I mean, that show, especially being an all women's show with an all women's judging panel,
yeah,
I that is a show I want to do every year from here on out. Like amazing experience, hands down.
it is. It's a great show, I know. And I watched it at the live stream and it was really good. And you placed eighth despite suffering from a dislocated rib, right?
Yes. So, and me and my husband had gone to Colombia for the week prior to my injury to go see family and we were off diet. My coach let us kind of take a diet break to go back home and see family and visit. And literally the day after we came home, I was in the gym training, back on diet. We thought we had 7 weeks because we were going to do the UK Pro,
Hmm.
which is plenty of time for us to tighten back down after a week off. And I was doing pull-ups on this just a pull-up machine, and I missed the step and fell on the dip bar, and the dip bar took my rib and shoved it upwards. So
Oh no.
the
Ouch.
decision was made to compete in Arizona early because we were fearful that not being able to train at the intensity and capacity that I need to train,
Yeah.
um, my look would suffer and diminish even more. And so
Yeah.
we wanted to, at this point, just make the decision, get on stage, get some good feedback, and then shut it down for a few months and then pick back up in January. And that's the
That's
plan.
great. And your husband, Darwin, he's a IFBB pro also, right?
Yes, he's a two-time Olympian for classic physique, and he's just transitioned into 212. So he'll be making
Wow.
his 212 debut hopefully soon.
That's awesome. Very cool. That's very good. Yeah. Um, so I wanted to ask you a few questions about how you got started in bodybuilding. And I was
Of
wondering if you
course.
had an athletic or a sports background before you started competing.
So I've been an athlete in some capacity my entire life. I am a neurodivergent individual, and people typically like us, we need to keep busy. And so from a young age, my mom had me in sports. I was dancing. I started dancing when I was 3.
Okay.
I played soccer, I played t-ball, I played basketball, I swam, I played lacrosse. I never ran track. I am not a runner. I will just still to this day, unless something is chasing me and I can't kill it, I ain't running. Um,
I agree with you on
but
that.
there's always been sports. I got into powerlifting. I got into CrossFit after my daughter was born,
Okay.
and that transitioned into powerlifting because I'm a taller individual,
Yeah.
and when it came to CrossFit, like all the body weight movements, these shorter girls could bang out like 2 to 3 reps before I could get one, just because they're so much shorter to the ground.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anytime you did any type of barbell cycling, I was so strong that I could just tear through that. So I switched into powerlifting
Okay.
and I became an international elite lifter. I've
Wow.
set state, national, and world records in multiple weight classes.
Wow. Nice.
And I was at an expo doing an exhibition lift, and I was coming up out of a squat, and a brand new spotter grabbed one side of the bar and tipped it over on me. And it was my opening lift, so it was only 435, and we were going for 500, 501 that day.
Okay.
And I ended up compacting my hip, and I ended up with two herniations because of what he did.
Oh, really?
And so it put
Wow.
me down. Yeah, so it put me down from competing in powerlifting for a little while. And I
Okay.
had a buddy, friends of mine that own a gym out in Austin called Big Tex, um, said, "Have you ever thought about bodybuilding?" And I was like, "No, because I don't think that I have the mentality to stick to a diet, because I eat Pop Tarts and drink
Hmm.
milk and eat Taco Bell, and I have a decent look because of the capacity at which I'm training under.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
don't know if I could, at the time, I mean, I was young, I don't know if I
Mhm.
could give up Taco Bell and Pop Tarts,
I see. I
but
understand.
I needed a goal because I'm a very goal oriented, goal driven person. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to try. I hired a coach. That coach was with me for like 3 weeks and realized that I had a lot more potential than he was capable of doing. And so he actually referred me over to his coach who had several pros.
Okay.
And I started prepping for the Phil Heath,
Mm.
and I did it. And my first show, I took first in novice, first in open, and I took the overall.
Wow. Nice.
And then my coach said, "You're not allowed to do another regional show."
Uh-huh.
And so we went
National.
to nationals a few months later,
Yeah.
and I was sitting in second to turn pro. And then still very new to posing, and the whole dehydration thing is only my second time dieting down and feeling any of that. And I
Uh-huh.
went to do my rear double bicep, and I cramped, and I went, "Ugh," and I just completely
Oh.
lost everything on stage and ended up in fourth.
Oh no.
So,
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry. Oh, yeah,
but that's
yeah.
okay. I mean, but second
Yeah.
show ever, and it's a national show, and you make it into, first call outs. I can't be upset about that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then came back and did North Americans and turned in 2019. And I fell
Yeah.
in love with it after that. Like,
Great.
I fell in love with being on stage. I still get nervous. I still shake like a leaf in my
Really?
presentation. Yes,
Yeah.
just to stay. But it's just so rewarding. And I fell in love with bodybuilding. And so once I turned pro, I did one or two more meets as a powerlifter.
Okay.
And then I made the commitment to retire from powerlifting
Okay.
and commit 100% to bodybuilding. So
Terrific. Yeah. How tall are you?
5'9".
Wow,
Well,
that's
I
tall.
say I'm probably 5'8.5" now, because I'm scratching at 40. I turn 40 next month,
Okay.
and we start to shrink after a while. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think I'm probably closer to 5'8.5" now, but my tallest, yeah, I peaked out at 5'9", so I'm tall.
That's pretty tall, especially for bodybuilding, because
Yeah.
probably the ladies average like 5'4", probably, a lot of them do.
And they are. I think one of the benefits that I have that's made me a good bodybuilder, and every time I've gotten feedback, all the judges have said they really like my shape. They
Yeah.
like my structure and they like my shape, that I have a very good shape, which I didn't really feel like I did, but we always beat ourselves up. But now that I've heard a couple judges say you have a very good shape and structure, there's just things that I need to fix. Obviously, we all do. Um, a lot of girls, when they're taller, it's really hard for us to get thicker legs because you're so long limbed.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm a Frankenstein because my mom is 5'1"
Hmm.
and my dad was 6'6".
Oh, wow. Geez, that's a
So, like,
big
the way that I'm
differential.
pieced together genetically, I have a long torso, which helps my waist stay smaller.
Yeah, I see.
It doesn't
Yeah.
get as blocky, but I have short legs.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So I'm able
Um,
to get the thickness in my legs that some other
Yeah.
girls who are taller might not necessarily be able to do.
Isn't that kind of
And
like
that's
Michael Phelps kind of structure, I think? I think he had the
he's
long
got a
torso.
really long torso. He's got long legs too, but compared to his torso is just obscenely long. And he's
Yeah.
also got very long arms.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what also made me a good swimmer as well, because my arms are pretty long as well. I was a
Really?
butterfly.
Yeah. That's really cool.
So, and I'm kind of grateful for that because I think where my genetics failed me in other sports, they've kind of helped me
Yeah.
in bodybuilding. So yeah, and I'm
That's
back
great.
to I've considered it now, and I'm going to actually do both sports again. I'm actually starting a powerlifting block next week.
Nice. Okay.
Um, my the owner of the gym that I train out of, and my boss, because I'm a staff trainer there, his name's Tyler.
Hmm.
Um, he owns Texas Iron Republic. He's actually going to be coaching me for powerlifting for the next few months, and we're probably going to do a meet before I go back into prep.
Nice. That's terrific. That's great news.
People don't understand how much it can add density and thickness to your back and
Yeah.
legs. I think that's really important for us, especially in physique. And I
Yeah.
just miss the platform, and I miss that camaraderie of, yes, it's an individual sport because it's just you on the platform.
Hmm.
It's a team sport because when we're all training, we're all together and we're pushing each other to be stronger. And I miss that a lot. So it'll
Yeah.
be fun to be a part of the team.
I know Susan Graham, I don't know if you've seen her, but ever since she did powerlifting, she's like completely changed her physique. And like you said, more density. But now she's winning
Angie
shows
too.
too, you know.
Angie just won Rising Phoenix. Angie powerless.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, and that's another good
And she
way
does,
to-
and she'll do equipped lifting a lot of the time too, which equipped is wearing like bench shirts and stuff. Like she's a incredible lifter, incredible power
yeah,
lifter.
that's true. So I
Mhm.
wonder if more ladies will get into powerlifting and bodybuilding to help with the bodybuilding, like help with the physique.
For a long time, and I actually had when I was turning pro, I was at North Americans, and one of the expediters or tanners, I don't know, she was something. She was saying something. I was talking about powerlifting. She was like, "Oh, do you deadlift?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "You're gonna have to quit that." And I
Hmm.
said, "Why?" And she goes, "Because your waist will get thick." I'm like, "That's a
Hmm.
myth." But
Yeah.
a lot of people thought that back in the
Mhm.
day. And a
Yeah.
lot of people still kind of have that thought process that if they deadlift or if they squat too heavy, that their waists are going to get too thick. If you're genetically predisposed to have a thick waist, anytime you're bracing and getting heavier and your core is getting thicker, you're just going to have a thicker waist.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Uh,
look, my friend Rhea, she's a figure pro. She just won Tupelo.
okay. Oh yeah.
That girl deadlifts and stiff leg deadlifts over 400 and something pounds for reps, and her waist isn't this big.
Yeah. No, I think that's a myth for sure. I think it's really helped a lot of ladies.
It does.
Yeah.
You look at the
No.
thickness in their backs and their lats and stuff from women that deadlift versus women that don't, you can see a distinct difference.
Oh no, I know. Like I
Mhm.
mentioned with Susan, she looks completely different than she did like in 2017 because she was a lot thinner, just and she looked good, in condition, but she didn't have the size she needed to really start winning shows and stuff. And now she's been winning. So um
Exactly.
yeah, so I think that's good. Um Now I was curious, noticed that in last year at San Antonio, you did the figure division. And I was
Okay.
wondering if you have a preference for figure over women's physique, or are you gonna do one or the other?
I love both classes. I have a love for both classes.
Uh-huh.
Um, the decision to go into figure was because I had started atrophying. I had started losing muscle.
Okay.
Um, Unfortunately, with my CVID, that can happen sometimes. And so I
Okay.
have to kind of just roll with the punches the best I can and do the best of my ability. And I had gotten feedback from um, the head judge, one of our big head judges, our big bosses, that said that my shape was leaning more towards figure and looked more figure.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and so that's why that decision was made. And even my feedback at that show was that I had great shape and structure. My upper body was great, but my quads were a little too big and I needed to bring them down in order to be more competitive in figure.
Oh, really? Okay.
And
Yeah.
so we were thinking that that might be what I would do. And we actually dropped the frequency on my quads. I only train 3 quad movements a week. That's it. I do 3 movements. I do adductors. Well, I'll do 4 because adductors. I don't really count that because I do it every single time. But I
Uh-huh.
do leg extensions. I do a pendulum or a hack or a barbell squat, something of that sort. And I do a leg press. And that's it.
Okay. Yeah.
And lunges, but lunges are, body weight or whatever. That is the most that I do in my quads. And
Okay.
they still grew. They
Really?
grew.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice. That's very good. Yeah.
So I like physique. It's where my heart is because I like performing.
Yeah. Your posing is really good too. So I think
Thank you.
yeah. And as a fan, I prefer women's physique because you do get to do the posing routine and show your
Mhm.
creativity, whereas figure is a little bit more rigid, and um it's a little too I don't know. It's kind of, I think it's nice for y'all to ditch the heels too.
That's my favorite part. As we can tell by the dislocated rib that I am not, and I've been a dancer since I was 3. Dancing, I am like so graceful and put together, but like walking, I will trip over air. So putting me in high heels is a health hazard.
Yeah.
I probably need bubble wrap and a helmet. So being barefoot on stage is a hell of a lot safer for
Yeah,
my lack of grace.
I understand.
And I
But
love the posing. I do love the posing.
plus you're already tall, so to put on those heels, you're like even taller. Like,
I'm
geez.
over 6 foot.
Really? Wow.
Mhm. I hate in heels. I'm 6'1".
Really? Wow, that's
Yep.
amazing. Wow. Tower over all those girls, I bet. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, now, what was your experience like at Arizona Pro this year? Did you enjoy the show?
I really did. I mean, they were on it. They were pushing you on stage. Like they were rolling. You could tell that they didn't want to keep us there for hours on end, which was great.
Nice.
Um, it was organized. Being in front of all women's judging panel is incredible.
Yeah.
Because these are women that want to see you succeed and they're
Yeah.
not going to try to tear you down and they're going to give you the feedback. I think that you get the best feedback at shows like this.
Great.
Being able to compete with all women.
Hmm.
And there was 20 or 21 in our class. Like that's a big class for women's physique.
It was.
And
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
mean, I'm looking around at all these girls and I'm like, everybody looks amazing. Like there's sometimes you go to shows and you're like, okay, they are just here to be here. Like
Yeah.
they need to tighten up. You can tell people that it might be falling towards the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all do it. We all look and we kind of like judge based on everything. And you're like, oh, okay. There was not a single girl that I looked at and was like, okay, I could see them placing out of the top 10.
Yeah. Sure.
Every single girl, I'm like, anybody could be in the top 10. Like it is anybody's game because everybody was beautiful.
Yeah.
Everybody was on point. Everybody posed well. And you could tell that just everybody really wanted to be there.
Hmm. It
And
was a good show.
it's probably been my favorite show, to be honest.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. That it
only
was.
other show, the only other show that I had that much fun at was Puerto Rico Pro,
Oh
but I
yeah.
did, but I did figure,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they don't have that show anymore. It's gone.
I know. That's true. No, I'm glad you
But
enjoyed the show. It was great to watch it on live stream, and it was kind of I thought it was kind of interesting. I heard some gripes about the way they were switching the ladies around, but I thought it was interesting because it added some drama, and then
that's how. But if you look at how men are judged, they do the same thing. Like watch the opens, guys. They work them, and I think that's important to do that. It's
yeah,
important to move us. It's important to make us go through rounds because that's where you start seeing the conditioning come through and you can
yeah,
start seeing who's really conditioned and been
hmm,
working their poses and who hasn't. I think
yeah.
it's important and I think it was necessary and it should be done that way
I
because if you
agree.
go
Yeah.
Watch men's finals. They'll have, say they have 4 for the final call out. They'll
Hmm.
put every single one of them in the middle at one point and work them. They'll do 4 or
Okay.
5 rounds of posing, you
Yeah.
know, and that's how it used to be.
Hmm.
That's how they determined their conditioning, not just by looking at us, but by seeing how we work.
Yeah, I
I
understand.
think I think it's important. I think that that's necessary that they do that. Because if you
Uh-huh.
see girl start to crack and break, well, then she's not conditioned enough, and the person that's not deserves to take that spot away from her.
Yeah, I
Part of it,
understand.
they're part of the sport, you know?
I think it kind of shows you who's been, doing more posing practice too,
Yeah,
to be able
which is
to
part of it.
yeah, I know.
I
I
love
just
it.
thought
I think it's more entertaining too for people to watch everybody.
I know I thought it was more entertaining because of the uncertainty and the drama, just kind of
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of and to have an upset like well actually they were both kind of upsets I think with Jody winning women's physique and then Angie winning women's bodybuilding. And I thought it was and I was pleased that they both won actually. I think they looked
I
really good.
think that they both deserve those wins.
Yeah,
Jody might not have been the biggest one on stage, but structurally, she was complete. And
yeah.
conditioning, out of the top 4, she was the most conditioned out of the 4 in the final 4. She
Hmm.
was.
That's true. I
Um,
agree.
she had her glutes were striated and dry. She was dry through and through. She has beautiful shape. She has beautiful structure, and she absolutely deserved that win.
Yeah.
The only one that I was disappointed, and I feel like should have been in that final call out that wasn't, is Linka.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people. And she was initially up there in the middle, and in the front. And yeah, I was kind of surprised that they pushed her back. So I didn't know what the
I
deal
was
was.
too. And I feel like there was 1 or 2 other girls in that call out that maybe should have switched spots with her.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, just in my personal opinion, and we all have them. I feel like Linka truly deserved to be in that final call out.
Mhm.
Um, because structurally she's beautiful.
Mhm.
And I'm not really sure what their decision was, other than maybe her upper body might be a little, like her arms maybe too big. Because I have noticed that a lot of the shows that they have women's bodybuilding and women's physique, sometimes the girls that are more muscularly developed like that typically get put further down the line
Mhm.
because they look more bodybuilding. But
Yeah.
to me, she doesn't. Like, yes, she's got more developed biceps, but that's it. Like structurally, everything
Yeah.
else, she's physique. 100%.
I agree. No, I think she's good for physique, and
I do
yeah, I
too.
agree. She should have been placed higher, I think. Yeah.
But other than
Um,
that, like I absolutely agree with Jody winning. Because when what you can see on the live stream and what we see in person is different. Like my conditioning on the live stream doesn't look as solid as, like, I posted a video on my IG, which was literally 30 minutes before we went on stage. And you
yeah.
could
Yeah.
see that video that I posted, you can see my conditioning and my dryness is a lot more than what it showed on stage in the live
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah.
Uh, that's just part of it. But Jody, 100%. And Angie, I mean, Andrea Shaw is incredible, but Angie won.
Yeah. Yeah. Angie is
Angie was
amazing.
peaked. Angie was perfect. Angie was structurally beautiful. Her shape, her flow, her symmetry was on point, and her conditioning was like almost rivaling Michaela. And Michaela is one of the most conditioned human beings I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Sherry Priami too. She got that conditioning going on too. Yeah.
Yeah, like her glutes are like bacon, like just crisp. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like there are guys that cannot reach that level of conditioning. Like Michaela
Yeah.
is insane. And like you see her in person and it's even more insane. You're like every single fiber you can see, like you are in an anatomy chart dream.
Yeah.
Like it is
Yeah.
insane. And I'm like, I wish that I could get my glutes even a quarter of that.
Oh yeah. She is pretty amazing. Yeah, I know. It's crazy to see. And now
Yeah,
here's
I know some people might have been upset with how the placings in, but I think that they were absolutely 100% on.
yeah, no, I got you. I'm happy for Jody. I had predicted that Yvonne would win those. So that's what surprised me, I guess, because and I wanted my
Her con-
prediction to be right. But she
her
got close
flow,
though. She got second.
yeah, her flow and structure is very pretty, and like you said, it's very of the classic physique look that
Yeah.
we used to have. but Jody's conditioning was better.
Yeah, no, I
And
know.
I think structurally they were very close structurally,
Yeah.
because Jody's structure is very complete as well. I think that the reason that Jody ended up taking it was because her conditioning beat her.
Yeah.
So
I think you're
if
right about that.
if
Yeah.
Yvonne was a little bit harder, drier, a little bit more striated or airbrush, she would have taken her maybe.
Yeah.
But I think because they were so close structure wise, Jody inched her out with that condition.
Sure. I understand. Now I got you. I understand with that. And sure, yeah, Jody's conditioning was amazing. Um, Now I was curious in terms of this past show, the Arizona Pro, or even recent shows that you've done. Have you gotten any feedback from the judges on where you need to improve your physique and presentation?
Yeah, condition, obviously, which I knew that coming in, and it's like I'm not gonna be like, well, I was in Colombia for a week off diet, and I was supposed to get 7 weeks to come in after Colombia, and only got two.
Okay.
But conditioning, and then I need a little bit more bicep development
Okay.
because my shoulders are so developed that it throws the balance off a little bit.
I see.
Um, and then balancing my glutes.
Hmm.
One of my glute, and I think that's going to be something that I'm going to have to do with posing because it's a structural thing, it's a genetic thing. Because I have spinal bifida occulta, which
Oh
is a
yeah.
hole. Yep, I have a hole in my spine.
Oh wow.
Um,
Hmm.
I am very blessed because most people end up in wheelchairs with
Yeah.
tumors wrapped around nerves and mentally disabled. And what spinal bifida occulta is, which is also another reason why I'm immune compromised, it's the occulta basically means hidden. So there's the hole, and there's basically a flap of skin that kind of forms over, so it hides it. But
Okay.
there can be neurological issues, which means that my right and left side kind of develop a little bit differently.
Hmm.
Um, and so my glutes, when I'm very lean, you can see that there's a difference, and it does show on stage.
Really?
So
Okay.
that, oh yeah, and so that was pointed out
Hmm.
because it is a pretty large discrepancy when I
Hmm.
pose.
Okay.
So balance my glutes, bigger biceps, and then I need to add a little bit more thickness in my back.
Okay. That's cool.
Which
That's
I
good.
knew I saw that I'd lost a lot of thickness, and I think it's because I haven't been deadlifting. I've been
Oh
training with my
yeah.
husband who doesn't. So
Yeah.
I think 4 months of bringing that back in will be just the ticket.
That's awesome. No, that's good. That's good that you got the judge feedback as well. Um, I was curious if you can give any advice to ladies who are seeking to earn their pro card, and I know it takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but any other tips you can provide?
Um, Practice your posing. Posing is important because you can have the best physique in the world, but if you do not know how to show it, you're not going to be able to.
Hmm.
Um, and stick with it, and don't be afraid to add muscle. Don't be afraid to train hard. Don't be afraid to lift heavy.
Hmm.
We're in a new era, and it is absolutely okay for women to be strong. It's okay for us to be muscular. And if you want to turn pro in women's physique, put in the work and lift heavy, lift hard, and practice your posing. I
Hmm.
would love to see more and more faces in women's physique. I would love to see our division grow and grow again and continue to grow and flourish,
Yeah.
because I feel like we're kind of a dying breed right now. And
Yeah. I know those shows that had the three competitors, just that
I
was kind
think,
of
well, I
worrisome.
think that that's just because the shows are so early in the year and it
Yeah.
rotates. I guarantee you the early shows this year for
Yeah.
2025, because last year all the early shows were stacked and then it kind of tapered off. This year, all the early shows were empty and all the later shows were stacked. And I think that a lot of the girls that sat out this year are going to be in the mix for the early shows next year because there was only three at Triple O, and I've
Yeah.
already spoken to at least six girls that are doing Triple O this year.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I think you're right about that too, that they'll kind of a
They'll try
cycle.
to qualify early and then rest.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about like St. Louis, had only three girls, and Natalie Wolf that won looked amazing, but it was worrisome. I think it was Jack, the promoter there, was worried about just maybe having to cut out women's physique and
He is, and he's going to. And honestly, it's how he runs the show. I did
mhm,
St. Louis last year and I didn't like it. I'm going to
okay,
be honest, and I'm not trying to knock him, but they just have us out in the hallway. Like, there's not really anywhere for us to go to warm up or do anything. We're just sitting out in the hallway. We
okay,
have no space. They really don't do anything for the athletes. Like, they give you like a, you know, a shirt that's like itchy, like discount cotton. Like, it's, and I understand that these shows are expensive,
yeah,
but when you have pro athletes coming in and the athletes don't feel appreciated at a show, it makes it hard for them to want to do it. And
yeah,
that's a
I
lot of the
understand.
girls that I've spoken to, because I was very disappointed with St. Louis.
Uh-huh,
Not
yeah,
only because I missed my peak, which was, that was a personal, but just the way that the show was. Like, I walked in on stage and I can tell you that half of the judges didn't even look at me.
really? Oh wow, oh wow, that's not
And I
cool.
have a couple friends that are judges, and I said something to them about it. I said they didn't. I said I make sure to make eye contact with my judges. I always make sure to look at them and let them
Yeah,
know that I see them, and so that they know that I'm looking for their approval and for their look. And
yeah,
half of them are just how they're just writing,
huh,
doodling. Like, at
that's
least
not
three
cool.
judges I could
Really?
not get eye contact from.
Oh wow, that's not good.
And it
Yeah,
was really disappointing. I would never do St. Louis again. I won't do
really?
Omaha because I know he runs that show too.
Yeah, I understand. I'm sorry you had bad experience though. Yeah. Um, no, that's not good though. Yeah,
I'll always stick to, I love Wings of Strength because they always put on great shows.
yeah, I've heard that.
Tim Gardner shows are always awesome. Like, he
Yeah.
does really great. Like, because it's Tim Gardner. Is he the one that, no, Gary Unit does North Americans?
Yeah, Gary Udit. Yeah, that's right.
And
Yeah.
his shows, his pro shows are great too. So it's like those three, like, and I've done others that have been great, but it's like one that stands out for me is like Wings and Strength, obviously, because they're very for, women's empowerment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But every Tim Gardner show I've done has always been smoothly ran. Every Gary Unit show I've ever done has been smoothly ran. Every Wings and Strength show I've done has been smoothly ran.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
that's kind of,
understand. No, that's cool.
I want to do Linda Murray's. I want to do
Oh
Atlanta.
yeah. She's kind of a
Uh,
legend. Yeah.
that's in my repertoire because that's where I'm from. I'm from
Oh yeah.
Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh nice. Very good. Yeah.
So
You said you're in Woodlands, Texas now. That's in the Houston area, right?
correct.
Yeah, Houston.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Now I know you talked about having a prep coach, but I was wondering if you have a posing coach as well.
I've worked with a couple different people. This year I just kind of did my own thing. I worked with Macy Tony for a couple sessions because we're really good friends, and
Oh, she's awesome.
we were gonna work together because like, she has beautiful flow,
Yeah.
with how she poses. I love her posing. She's an amazing human being, but she's also got a baby on the way, and so I'm like, girl, you need to be off your feet and doing like
Yeah.
not that.
Yeah, that's true.
um,
Yeah.
so, and with somebody else that I work with frequently, he's a very good friend of mine. He's my little chicken nugget, and that's Chris Darby.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah.
he's a 212 pro, and he actually is one of the ones that gives out the posing award for Texas Pro. He
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
contributes money for that.
Oh,
I work with
nice.
him quite a bit, because we're very good friends. We have good camaraderie together, and I know that if I need to work on my conditioning, that he's going to do just that, and I'm going to end up passing out, but I'll be I'll be better.
Yeah.
But I don't have like a set prep coach. Those are the two, but predominantly Darby, just because we're so close knit and tight that
Nice.
it's easy to work with him.
That's great. I really like Macy a lot, and hope that she does compete again, maybe after the baby, because
She's
she,
talking about it.
yeah, she has a great look. She's amazing. She got crazy abs. Her abs are amazing.
Yeah. Her biggest thing is she goes, I just can't put the size on that the
Yeah.
other have. And I said, sometimes it's not always about size.
Yeah. No, she's got the good structure, I think. And isn't she's short too, right? 5 foot.
Yeah, she's like 5'3",
Wow, yeah.
five
So
two, 5'3". Yeah, she's a little
uh,
nugget. Just
Uh,
super sweet. I adore her.
She seems really sweet. Yeah. I was curious, what would you say is the most challenging aspect of prep for you?
The diet.
Yeah, Well, you mentioned Pop-Tarts and Taco Bell earlier.
I am a food person. Like I plan vacations based on food.
Really? Nice.
Yes. My best friend, I coach her and she just turned pro at Team U. Her name is Heather. That is literally our favorite pastime. I will leave my husband and go places with her and eat food.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, like we're going to Disney and Universal in October for Halloween because that's my favorite holiday. I'm a spooky season girl.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Doing all the Halloween festivities, and the first thing I was looking at was all the Halloween treats that they're gonna have.
Oh, nice.
So the
Yeah.
diet is definitely my hardest part. I won't cheat, but I'm not gonna be happy about it.
Yeah, I got you. I understand that.
I
Yeah.
love to train. Training is super easy for me. I'm okay being uncomfortable. I'm used to being uncomfortable.
Okay.
Powerlifting isn't comfortable, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Posing is like I enjoy that. I have fun because it's like dancing. The diet is the hardest part for me because
Yeah.
you have to mentally tell yourself that you cannot have those snacks.
I understand. I think that would be the toughest part for me if I've ever tried it. Because, yeah, it just seems like having that kind of a rigid diet and then in the monotony of it too, it just would drive me a little crazy.
I think that I'm better with. Because I'm neurodivergent, um, it helps me when I have structures like that where I'm doing the same thing and I have those schedules almost like an OCD person.
Yeah.
Because when things deviate is when I get stressed and anxiety about stuff.
Okay.
So when it is the same stuff, I know exactly what I have every day. I do better with that. So I think that's
Okay.
what made me a good bodybuilder is the fact that I can eat the same thing every day for months
Yeah.
on end and not get sick of it.
Nice.
Um,
That's
it's
good.
just when you start making the amount smaller that I get mad.
Oh, I see. Yeah. You're like, feed me.
Yeah, I'm like, don't take my rice away. I like that. I can eat chicken and rice all day long and not care and be perfectly happy. I just don't, I don't, I want 200 grams of it and not 100.
Yeah, I
That's where
understand.
I
Yeah.
start struggling.
Yeah, I got you. I understand that. That would be tough too, I imagine too, with the portions. Yeah. Um, Now I was curious, in terms of what any advice you could give to ladies who are looking for a good coach and any things they should be looking out for a good coach?
Absolutely. So I'm a prep coach and I always tell women, if you have a woman, obviously that's going to be a better choice. Not always. My coach is a man. Um, but if your coach doesn't ask, if you're an enhanced athlete and your coach does not ask for blood work, that's a red flag. Your coach
Mhm.
should always know how to, especially if they're going to be putting you on enhancements. Your coach
Yeah,
should know how to read, understand, and comprehend blood work and understand health markers because they are now playing with your health by adding in compounds that are going to put your health at risk. It
yeah,
doesn't if it's a little or a lot, your health is at risk when you enhance. And that's just, it's just fact. It is what it is. And we understand the risk going in. Um, but if your coach doesn't ask for blood work, that's a red flag. Make sure that you're with a coach that communicates, that is open to communication, that is willing to work with you because you know your body better than they do. They
okay,
learn it over time, but you know how your body responds to things, you know how your body works.
yeah,
And you should always be able to ask questions. You should always be able to challenge things with somebody because it's your body at the end of the day. They can have the reins, but you're the one that has to live with the decisions the rest of your life.
yeah.
Um, I'm thankful every day for Cullum
Nice.
because I can come to him and say something and question something or say that something makes me uncomfortable. And he's like, right, okay. And either if it's something that he really thinks is necessary for me to do, he will thoroughly explain it so that I understand why inside and out. And I'll say, okay, let me do my own research. Absolutely.
Hmm.
And ask any questions. And if it's something that I'm still not comfortable with, he goes, okay, we go a different route. Like
Okay.
works with me, and your coach should do that. Your coach should
Yeah.
always be open to your communication and what you want to do. I know there's a
Yeah.
lot of pro coaches out there that are, you do what I say, how I say to do it. When I say jump, you say how high. You're not allowed to ask me questions. You're not allowed to do anything. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, fuck that. Excuse my
Yeah.
French, but no, like,
I agree.
you're the
Yeah.
one that could potentially die
Hmm.
if things go sideways.
And you're
So,
paying them too, so they should be open to questions. I mean, you
right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're paying for a service, so you get the exactly. Um, I always like my athletes that enhance. I tell them, ask me any questions that you want to, but before we start this compound, I need you to do your own research. I
Yeah.
want you to go research this product for yourself and come back to me with questions. And then I will answer them. And then I want you to look at the answers of them too on your own before we make this decision,
Hmm.
because this is your body, not
Yeah.
mine.
That's really good advice, actually. I like that. And yeah, yeah, if the coach gives you pushback, maybe time for a new coach, maybe.
Exactly. If a coach can't explain to you thoroughly why they're using certain compounds or why they're pulling foods for certain reasons and what they're doing, if the coach can't give you definitive and answers to your satisfaction of why, to where you're still uncomfortable, then that's a flag too. Make sure that your coach should be able to explain to you exactly why they're making the decisions they're making.
Yeah.
I have to ask Callum because he knows I'm probably going to anyway. He'll tell
Yeah.
me we're doing this and adjusting this because A, B, C, and D.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good point. That's really good advice, I think. Yeah. Um,
Hmm.
um, I'm running a little low on time. I've only got time for a few more questions.
Sorry,
Um,
that's a lot.
oh no, you're good. No, I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. And I think I've told you I've been a fan of yours for a long time, so it's great to speak.
Thank you. That makes me feel good.
Thank you. Now, in terms of working as a coach, how long have you worked as a coach, and do you have bodybuilding and lifestyle clients?
I do. I have bodybuilding, lifestyle, and powerlifting.
Oh,
I
you have
do.
powerlifting too?
Yes.
Oh,
So
nice.
I started as a powerlifting coach and general fitness. Like I would do strength and conditioning classes. And I would coach powerlifting. I had one of the best teams in the country at one point. Me and my old business partner owned a gym called Woodland Strength and Conditioning. And we
Okay,
had a very strong powerlifting team that held multiple records.
nice.
It was always us and Team Mana out of Hawaii that always pretty much were head to head at nationals and worlds, fighting for those top team spots.
Great.
Um, I love it. I love coaching. I was a national referee for USPA. I judge for USPA at a national level.
Okay.
Um, and I now judge for XPC still, and will be judging for WRPF, which is a
Wow.
Russian.
I've heard of
Um,
that one. Yeah.
I judge because I love the platform. I love coaching bodybuilders. I've been coaching bodybuilding. I wanted to make sure that I was educated more before I started taking on bodybuilding clients.
Yeah.
So
I
even though
understand.
I started bodybuilding in 2017, I didn't start coaching people for bodybuilding until 2021.
Oh, I see. So you had a few years under your belt that way.
Mhm.
Yeah. Your Jessica belt. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
And then lifestyle, of course. I've been training lifestyle clients probably for 12 years, 12, 15 years. And
Cool.
I love them. The lifestyle clients are actually my favorites because I get to watch them, especially if I have people that come to me with health problems, Hashimoto's or immune deficiencies or injuries, or I work with a lot of PTSD veterans. I sponsor Camp Hope, which is PTSD Foundation of America. And I offer my services to their PTSD veterans. And I watch
Really?
them change and create better lifestyles and healthier habits
Nice.
with not only weight training and working out, but with nutrition and mental clarity and helping them balance life better.
Okay.
That's the most rewarding thing to me in the world. That trumps anything else for me. So,
Terrific. That's really cool. Yeah. I was curious, do you have a job outside of bodybuilding too, or is it pretty
so
much the
that's what I
coaching?
do. I
Yeah.
coach. Yep, I'm
Great.
a coach.
I was curious, do your parents support your bodybuilding career? Do they come to your shows and such?
So my father passed away.
Oh, I'm
He's
sorry.
no longer with us. He passed away the day before my birthday, in 2022.
Oh,
So
okay. Wow.
unfortunately, he never got to see me on stage.
Really? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I want to believe that he was proud of me, because the last conversations that I have with him, and I was starting to get more muscular, he's like, and my dad was 6'6". He was the giant of a man, and
Wow.
watching my dad become a very frail man was hard.
I bet.
But
Yeah.
he would go, Jess, your arms are bigger than mine now.
Wow.
And he goes, I guarantee, and my dad was trying to learn how to walk again. Um, and we were starting to do rehab, and he actually, of all people, wanted me to do it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he goes, you'll pick me up. I know that, because
Uh-huh.
he's fallen and I'd have to go and get him off the floor, and I could.
Yeah.
Um,
You had
I
the
think
strength too, I mean, to do it. Yeah.
my
Yeah.
mom has not seen me in a show yet.
Okay.
Um, I'm hoping that this 2025, we were hoping for me to do Atlanta this past year for 2024. That was initially the show that I wanted to do, so that my mom could see it. My mom's health is not the greatest. She's 74.
Okay.
She just had to have heart surgery. So she has not got to see me on stage due to her own health.
Yeah. I understand.
But unfortunately, my health went sideways. So we were not able to do Atlanta. So we had to kind of stop prep, and I had to go to the doctors and get tests and fun and this and that and the other, and then kick prep back up once we got that lined up. So I'm hoping in 2025 that she'll get to see me on stage, because I don't think I have very many years left for her to be able to. But she
Maybe.
supports it 100%. Like
Great.
she knows that it makes me happy. Um, when I first started, she was like, "Don't get too big."
Uh-huh.
But now she's like, get as big as you want. And I remember we went on a vacation a couple of years back. We were in the Bahamas, and the customs guy was like asking me to arm wrestle him.
Oh, really?
And I was tired. And I don't, that kind of stuff sometimes just makes, especially when I'm with my family and it's like we're
Yeah.
trying to do it. I don't, it can bother me sometimes. Like, so I just
I
try to
bet.
laugh it off, and I'm like, haha, no, thank you. Like, we're trying to get back on the boat. We're trying to go. He got offended because I wouldn't arm wrestle him. And he
Really?
looked at my 5'1" mother and said, you better tell her to not get too big, because no man's going to want her. And
What?
she
That's
said, well,
crazy.
I think her husband likes her just fine the way she is. She goes, and I don't think you have a pot to piss in, sir. She goes, you can't be mad just because she didn't want to mess with you. And I was like, my mama supports me.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah.
So
Um,
she supports it.
I hope that you'll be able to compete in Atlanta maybe in 2025, do you think?
That I hope so. If not, I'm hoping that, because Triple O is going to be the first show. Um, and that's if we get to January, my coach feels that I'm in a good place to be able to start prep, health, and everything else wise.
Yeah.
I'm responding the way that we need it to, because my goal is Masters Olympia.
Oh, nice. In
I,
Japan.
yeah, we all want to go to the main Olympia. I mean, that's everybody's goal. I get that. But
Yeah.
I want to get Masters Olympia because I really want to go to Japan.
Oh, I know. That's going to be awesome. I know it was just announced today about Japan, and yeah, that's
Yeah.
really exciting. Yeah, that's great.
And my coach has at least two others that are masters that are going to do Masters Olympia. So he'll go with us. So we'll all be in Japan
Oh, nice. That'll be
and
awesome.
living the life. So
That'll be an
yeah.
incredible experience. That'd be neat. Yeah.
So it
Um,
just all depends on that. If not, then I'm hoping that I can fly my mom to Arizona.
okay. Yeah, that would be nice. To Triple O. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great if she could come to that show for sure. So,
Her
um,
health is improving to a point where she can fly now.
okay.
She's actually coming, because we were supposed to go to the UK. So she's actually flying out to Texas to stay with my daughter when we go to the UK.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice.
So then I'll get a few days with her, and then she's going to hang out with my kiddo, and then we'll get a few days when she comes back. And she's
Terrific.
bringing my Norwegian sausage balls.
Norwegian sausage balls, huh?
It's one of my grandmother's recipes from Norway, and they've got like, it's almost like a biscuit dough and sausage and cheese, and it's
Oh,
something I'm craving because I'm homesick.
Yeah.
So I'm
Uh,
like, I'll freeze them and bring them. I'm like, yes.
all right. That sounds pretty tasty too. That'll be nice to get to see her too. It'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. I miss her.
So I'm sorry I'm running low on time. I'm just gonna wrap it up now, but I just wanted to see if there's anything I missed that you'd like to address.
I think, the best thing I can say to anybody and everybody, especially women, don't be afraid to be muscular. Don't be afraid to lift heavy. Don't be afraid to push the boundaries. And don't be afraid to be uniquely who you are. And if people don't accept you for who you are, what you love to do, fuck them. They're not your people.
I like that. That's really good advice. I like that. And any sponsors or friends you'd like to shout out?
Yes, obviously my coach, Straight Labs. Straight Labs is a peptide company that I've been with for a few years now. Um, they've kept my old lady joints going with the BBC 157 and TB 500. My injectable carnitine comes from them. I mean, all of my peptides come from them. They're a great company. Everything is third party tested, which is awesome because when you're injecting stuff, you would like to know that it is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I
definitely.
code for them, which is Jess, just Jess, Gas, Better Bodies. Like, being an athlete for them is obviously a huge honor, and they take such amazing care of us. And I'm grateful to Michael and Johanna and the entire Gas and Better Bodies team. And then Texas Iron Republic, which is my home gym and my family and my community. So, and of course,
Perfect.
my family, my husband, my daughter, my mom, all the people that support me and enable me to do what I do every day. So
That's very cool. Yeah. I bet you have a pretty good collection of fans too. Do fans reach out too much?
I do. I've been a little AWOL this year just because I was dealing with my health issues. I wasn't posting as much.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do have a pretty good fan base, and I'm very grateful to all of them and everybody that follows and watches me and supports me and my journey and keeps, muscle women alive by supporting us.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. And thank you. Yeah. Like I've been a big fan of yours for a long time, but just a fan of female bodybuilding for a long time too. So and y'all, I just think y'all are really inspiring and just beautiful. So keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
But well, thank you so much. I'm gonna try to get this posted this evening, possibly, but it might be tomorrow morning. But I'll definitely tag you. And but thank you so much for your time, Jess. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.